4Islands MTB Croatia is more than just a mountain bike stage race. It is an adventure through the Adriatic, an island-hopping excursion through the Kavarna Islands, blending exceptional yet challenging riding with the competitive racing spirit of the Epic series. The 2024 edition took in 272 kilometres of racing, with 6,210 metres of elevation gain across 4 iconic islands. Starting with 2 days on Kirk, the racing got underway with the 12-kilometre time trial prologue, before the opening marathon day on Stage 1 challenged with a 72-kilometre route. Stage 2 was the 84-kilometre Queen stage and took place on Thres. Then the penultimate day featured a 39-kilometre race around Lochin. The final stage was a 65-kilometre exploration of Rab. Stage 1, like the prologue before, started and finished in the seaside town of Bashka on Kirk. The 72-kilometre route featured 1,530 metres of climbing, challenging with a series of steep ascents and technical descents. With the top teams all boasting fresh legs, the pace was frenetic from the off. Within the first 15 kilometres, the field had been split into the contenders and the chasers. Metallurgica Veneta 1 were eager to help Buff Megamo 1 set a blistering tempo, which only Orbea Layout Speed Company and Climatiza Totimi Cabati 2 could follow. Buff Megamo 2's Hans Becking and Jose Diaz led the chase group with Simon Schneller and Axel Rudil Cortinat of the Bulls Mavericks and Hexatree's Pierre Billot and Theo Duprat. Rudil Cortinat had endured a prologue to forget when he shattered his rear rim the day before. This cost the French marathon champion and his teammate Schneller 25 minutes and effectively put them out of the general classification showdown. Near the halfway point in the stage, it became clear that Baum was not able to follow his rival's pace. Yet the men in yellow fought their way back to the group and then watched as Alman suffered a mechanical as the Buff Megamo 1 men launched an attack. This handed the impetus to the Italian outsiders, Taffarel and Rosa. When Orbea Layout Speed Company were unable to follow the Metallurgica Veneta 1 team on the final climb, the tone of the day changed. Taffarel and Rosa were racing for every second in pursuit of their first Epic Series leaders jersey, while Baum and Egger, the latter doing the lion's share of the work, battled to limit their time losses. Further back, Climatiza Totimi Cabati 2 were riding to keep the chasers at bay and earn their first stage podium, while the Team Bulls Mavericks had both Buff Megamo teams with them as they swapped off the front to try and recover lost time.
We are very happy to be here. It's our first time. To the first climb, we tried to stay in the first group. Then Massimo and I tried to attack in the first downhill, but Massimo had a little bit mechanical problem. Then we closed the gap and we tried to do our best to the last climb. And so we are here and with the yellow jersey and we won. We are very happy and this is unexpected.
Ahead of Stage 2, the new men's race leaders held a 36-second advantage over the men they had toppled from the top of the podium. The second island and the host for Stage 2 was Thres. Located to the southwest of Kirk, it provides a start which is unique in cycling, let alone mountain biking. The harbour of Merag features a start line right off the ferry, with the boat's horn supplying the signal. The Queen stage was not only the longest of 2024, but was, on paper at least, also the toughest. It also had the appearance of a day which would produce significant time gaps, and either turn the general classification on its head or crystallise it for the men in yellow. Capitalising on the aggression of Orbea Layout Speed Company, Metallurgica Veneta 1 were able to remain at the front of the race throughout the stage. Initially, Baum and Egger forced a small split and only the Italians were able to follow. Later, Baum's issues from Stage 1 and the same stomach cramps which curtailed his Absa Cape Epic performance came to the fore once again. This allowed a regrouping to take place, without Baum and Egger though. Buff Megamo 2, who had been setting the pace in the chase group, continued their work to set Alman and Rodriguez Guedes up, though they did of course not have it all their own way, with Taffarel and Rosa in the front group, along with Climatiza Totimi Cabati 2. There was no opportunity for Buff Megamo to ease off and relax. This constant tension, along with the narrowing of the course, led to a crash in which Martinez and Rodriguez Guedes collided. The Buff Megamo one-man went down hard and was slow to rise. After a lull in the action, Metallurgica Veneta 1 pushed on from the final water point and soldiered their way towards the finish line in the town of Tres. Behind, Martinez recovered to chase with Munoz, while Buff Megamo 2's Becking and Diaz, unable to aid their stablemates, pushed on in an attempt to salvage a result for the Spanish outfit. Further back, Baum had finally recovered his composure and with his energy returning was surging towards the finish line with Egger. Conscious that they were not quite out of the general classification running yet, if only they could limit their losses.
We are very happy to yesterday, and today we try to stay again in the first group, the first kilometers, and well, we stay all the time, we control the race. Before the last field zone, I had a mechanical problem, and then we close the gap and we attack again, and we win again, and it's incredible for us.
Stage 3 took place on the island of Lochin, starting and finishing in Mali Lochin. The 39-kilometre long stage provided vistas from the Church of St Ivan atop the island, and also from the waterside Montbasson path along the sheltered bay in which Mali Lochin is nestled. Starting the penultimate stage 4 minutes and 44 seconds back, the Orbea Layout Speed Company team were highly motivated to go on the offensive on stage 3. The short route did not dissuade them. In fact, given Baum's issues when the race went into the second and third hours of each stage, the compact course actually suited the defending champions better. For the third day in a row, they went on the offensive early. The first obstacle of the stage was a short 50-metre elevation gain. This was enough for Orbea Layout Speed Company to establish the beginnings of an advantage. A pair of minor mechanicals for Taffarel helped Baum and Egger get away, but despite their misfortune, Metallurgica Veneta 1 refused to panic. The Italians chased manfully, never allowing their heads to drop. The compact and technical nature of the course actually aided Taffarel and Rosa in this, as Baum and Egger were never able to put their formidable power down in a sustained fashion. 2 punctures in quick succession for Orbea Layout Speed Company also aided the men in yellow. On the second descent from the Church of St Ivan towards the northeastern shore of the island, the charging stage leaders punctured twice, then suffered a mechanical too. This allowed Climatiza Totimi Cabati 2 to catch Baum and Egger in the trails. Racing for every possible second, the Orbea Layout Speed Company pairing dragged Munoz and Martinez towards the finish line. Each pedal stroke made it less likely that Baum and Egger would be able to win what was almost sure to be a sprint finish. Yet that was not their top priority. Their thoughts were focused on the men in yellow. Every possible second which they eked out from Taffarel and Rosa's lead made the stage 4 task a little easier, a little more possible.
At the end of the race, I felt very strong, and I knew that I followed with my teammate Miguel's, which we will get the stage victory.
Heading into the final stage, Metallurgica Veneta 1 led Climatiza Totimi Cabati by 2 minutes and 25 seconds. The final island of the 2024 race was Rab. Packed with punchy climbs, there were thrilling views around every bend, and as is the way with the 4 islands, the Adriatic is always close. Turquoise seas complement white limestone rocks and olive green flora. Even the red terracotta roofs in the villages are a faded natural hue. The final stage of the race was the last opportunity for Orbea Layout Speed Company to seize the leaders' jerseys. Baum and Egger are not the type of riders to be left wondering what might have been. Instead, the Germans are the type to die trying. But this is a well-known fact, and Metallurgica Veneta 1 were under no illusions as to how tough Stage 4 would be. The 65-kilometre long last stage was filled with climbs and descents. The profile had a sawtooth appearance, and though none of the ascents gained more than 150 metres in elevation, the route was nonetheless tough. This suited the chasers rather than the defenders, though Taffarel and Rosa were once again resolute in their resolve to remain with the Orbea Layout Speed Company. Despite Baum and Egger being able to distance the likes of Buff Megamo, the Bulls Mavericks and Climatiza Totimi Cabati 2, Metallurgica Veneta 1 proved to be made of sterner stuff. It was only in the final 20 kilometres when Rosa's energies flagged slightly. Taffarel committed wholeheartedly to the team effort, and together he and Rosa fought to limit their losses, while Baumanegger went all in, hoping to force a mistake from the men in yellow now that they were on the back foot. Metallurgica Veneta 1 were not cracking, however. Rosa recovered from his momentary lapse and managed to help Taffarel keep the gap to the men up front to around 60 seconds. This meant that the Orbea Layout Speed Company bookended their Adriatic racing adventure with stage victories, but had to settle for second position overall. When Taffarel and Rosa crossed the line 1 minute and 24 seconds later, they were crowned kings of the 4Islands Mountain Bike Croatia. Bulls Mavericks completed the day's podium places ahead of Klimatiza Totimi Kabati 2 and Team Hexatree.
This is incredible, unexpected. We tried to keep it, yeah, we won the yellow jersey. This is incredible for me.
Today I'm going through gas all day. Orbea start very strong for me the jersey, but the legs is good, and defended leadership and close with second place in a stage, and we win the general championship. It's incredible for me.
Metallurgica Veneta 1's final margin of victory was 2 minutes and 7 seconds over the Orbea Layout Speed Company team, and the win was undoubtedly the biggest of Taffarel and Rosa's careers. 4Islands Mountain Bike Croatia, the Azure Adriatic as the constant companion, and the islands of Kirk, Thres, Loshin and Rab as the challenges come playgrounds. Demanding and rewarding, awe-inspiring and soul-fulfilling, an experience where lasting memories are forged.